Did you know this about this prophecy which fills in the 2,000 year gap from Christ's time to today? That it's not something to be looked over, that the scripture is clear on why that time period was there, and it's all to do with Israel. It's all to do with them, their servitude. To make this very, very, very short, it goes all the way back to 537 BC. And we find in Ezekiel chapter 4, God tells him to lie on his side for a certain amount of days for Israel and a certain amount of days for Judah, and each day represents a year. Now, equated on each day for the days calculated up to 430 days, which is 430 years. When you exclude the 70 years that he served under Nebuchadnezzar or under Babylon, it works out to be 360 years. But Leviticus 26 tells us God spoke to them and told them, if you continue in your rebellion and don't obey, the punishment I've given you will be multiplied by 7. So if you take the 360 prophetic years that they would have had left from the original 430 down to 360, it equates, when you multiply it by 7, all the way to 2,520 years of servitude that the nation of Israel would have to God because of their disobedience. Now, the exciting part is when this was done, which would have been the siege on Jerusalem, goes back to July 537 BC. When you calculate the number of days from those years, so 2,520 years, and you multiply by the prophetic days, which is 360, when you put it into the calculator, it brings you all the way to May 1948. And we know what happened then. And their servitude ended in 1948, and that's when Israel became a nation again. All of the time period beforehand, we were told that they'd be handed over to the Gentile nations to be trampled on and scattered all over the world because of their disobedience towards God. And we see even in Daniel, they were still disobedient all the way to the time that the city was rebuilt. They were still in disobedience. So Leviticus law kicks in and their punishment was multiplied by 7. But when you calculate the dates, it brings you all the way to May 1948. So the 2,000 year gap wasn't coincidental or accidental. It actually became the time of grace for the church because of their disobedience. The church and the rest of us outside of Israel, because of what Christ done and through the grace of what he provided, became part of that blessing. Now we are the fig tree generation, anyone from 1948, which means we are very, very close to the soon return of Christ. All this you can search out, guys, yourselves. I'm going to throw some of the stuff down in the description to look at, some books to read, the Royal Observatory to do the calculations, etc. It can all be found in scripture. Everything was calculated to the day.